Good morning. Welcome to my own personal hell right now. So we're talking about mindset today. I have to really change my mindset now. I've literally already had this conversation with this camera, already lost all the footage. This is also after this morning I taught a class and literally not only forgot to turn on my microphones, didn't even have this one on my person. Like I finished class and I was like, oh, where's my microphone? I didn't put it on and I didn't notice. Anyway, I literally got halfway through this video already. Like I already got ready. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna film it again. We're gonna say that was take one. That was the rough draft. Here's take two. We're talking about mindsets in the fitness industry, and I'm going to change my mental mindset right now because it's not in a good place. Okay, first we need to dry shampoo. So guys, I saw a TikTok the other day, which did, oh my God, this video is gonna be a mess. Okay. Great. I saw a TikTok the other day and it kind of inspired this video, which I feel like happens a lot. And I want to first say that like, I don't 100% disagree with everything that this creator said. And I do think that she had good intentions about the extremes that are in the fitness industry. But I also don't think that she fixed the problem. I think if anything, she kind of contributed to the issue of extremes within the fitness industry. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna let you watch the whole thing. It's a little bit long. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about it together.
Hi, it's obviously not the TikTok. I decided not to put it in here only because I felt like it was mean and I felt like a little nitpicky, but I do still think that there is a bigger issue of how creators present information to their audience. So to give you the gist of what I took issue with, this creator basically was like, I used to do bodybuilding and I used to do HIIT and I always had belly fat, and now I'm in my 30s and I cut all of that out and I just do walking and now I have visible abs and I've never looked better in my entire life. And then at the end, she's like, beware of any fitness person trying to sell you a program because it's not that complicated. So here are my thoughts.
This is what happens when I brush my hair. Let's get back to the topic of the video. The thing that I want to specifically talk about is the extremes of bodybuilding and HIIT to walking. Because basically what she's saying is like, I was doing bodybuilding, I was doing HIIT almost every day, and now I only walk, and these are the results that I got. And so I understand what she's saying about like, you know, you don't have to go to the extremes of bodybuilding. I agree. You don't have to go to the extremes of doing HIIT every day. I agree. But now she's actually said the other extreme, which is don't do any formal exercise and just walk. Like, what about just good old-fashioned strength training? And I think that this is part of the issue too, where people get so wrapped up in like strength training equals deadlifting 500 pounds. No. Like, that's not what I mean when I talk about strength training. Like, you can, but I don't think the majority of people need to be lifting that heavy. I don't even think that the majority of people need to be touching a barbell ever. You just see these this is right and this is wrong, and this is the thing that's going to work for you. This is the right option. This is what's going to fix everything. And like, that doesn't exist. Or it's not just one thing. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't walk. I'm not saying you shouldn't do HIIT. I don't really think you need to work out like a bodybuilder unless you want to be a bodybuilder. You should be doing a little bit of all of these things. Like, balance is going to be the key. And right now, I just think that, especially with Pilates trending, like strength training has been made out to be, it's been demonized. And it makes sense that that's where we're at because all trends are secular. Is that the word that I'm looking for? Like, it got popular for women to start lifting weights. So of course the pendulum's gonna swing the other way at some point. And it's like, we're back to 2002 of don't get bulky, just do your Pilates, just do your walks. And like, those are great things, but you need more. And like, let's talk about that. I said it before, I personally do not think that Pilates is enough. I just don't. The only way you can justify only doing Pilates is like if you are adding some sort of resistance in there that is enough resistance to actually gain the benefits of strength training. So you would need like a Pilates reformer would be a great option. And if that's what you want to use for the rest of your life and that's it, like, I think that's fine. But I'm saying like just doing mat Pilates for the rest of your life you are not going to reap the benefits of strength training. What are those benefits, you might ask? The two main things that I am thinking about when I am strength training are increasing my muscle mass and increasing my bone density. Those things have been proven to happen only when you are put under enough resistance. Your body weight and then air is not going to be enough resistance at a certain point. Anyway, I don't really know how I got onto Pilates from that, but you know, all of these different forms of movement have their purpose, because I'm also not saying that you should only do strength training. Strength training, we talked about those benefits. If you want to do HIIT, awesome. I wouldn't recommend more than like once a week, maybe twice a week if you're doing like actual HIIT. I've talked about it before in other videos, like most HIIT that's marketed is not HIIT, it's just cardio, which is fine. But like HIIT is great for your heart health. Lower intensity cardio is fantastic for your heart health. I think the current recommendation is like 150 minutes per week. Walking. Oh my God, so many studies have proven that people who get 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, their risk of chronic illness like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, all of that plummets down at 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day. It goes down even like a little bit further at 10,000, and then past there, it's just like whatever. Also, Pilates, I'm not shitting on Pilates. I'm just saying like, it's not like none of these one things, none of these singular things are enough. Pilates is incredible for your core, for your stability, for your mind-muscle connection, for really understanding how to move slowly and purposefully. But what gets us all fucked up with our mindset is marketing. I don't understand why it's one thing or another. And I look like Shirley Temple. These curls better fall. So the other part of this that's like a little annoying, look, I've said it before, I don't have an issue with aesthetic goals or wanting to look a certain way. I don't think that that's the problem. But like to say, this is how I got like this without any science research to back it up, that's just anecdotal experience. Guys, that's not how science works. Because I guarantee fucking to you that was not a controlled fucking experiment. Sorry, I know people get annoyed when I curse so much, but I'm from Philly and I live in New York, so you just have to deal with it or turn me off. Like, just because you think this is the thing that worked for you, that doesn't mean that that's what it is. Like, you would have to do exactly what you're doing, but change one element of your entire routine and day, and it's just frustrating because, again, I don't disagree with everything that this creator is saying, and I just wish that she had phrased it more in a way of like, I was putting my body under way too much stress. I was lifting heavier than I needed. I was doing way more high intensity work than I needed, and it was putting my body into a place of constant stress. So when I stopped doing that, this is what happened. But instead, I walked instead, and now I have visible abs. I just really think that if this is the way that you approach like fitness and health and wellness, like, you are contributing to the problem. You are not helping. You're not helping. You're not educating anyone. You're telling a story that is manipulated, whether you know it or not, and it's very misleading. You're just contributing to a society filled with diet culture, filled with misinformation, and honestly, like, a society filled with misinformed individuals who don't even understand the basics of how their fucking bodies work. I want coaches to stop being so simple and just saying, this is what works. Because that's not how it fucking works. We're not just like test subjects in a lab. You're not changing one thing. Like, I'm gonna say two things right now that sound like they're opposing, but hear me out. It's not that simple, but it also is. Health, wellness, fitness, whatever the fuck you wanna call it, it's not as simple as like, this is what works. There's not one thing that works, right? But it's also quite simple what works. Balance. Get in your steps, pick up some heavy things like 2 to 3 times a week. If you wanna add some Pilates or mobility work or whatever the fuck you wanna do to make your joints and your posture and your core and your whatever feel better, awesome. Get outside, eat things that mostly aren't hyper processed, enjoy those other things in moderation, put down your phone before you go to bed, get off TikTok. That's how simple it is. The simplicity that people try to sell you, again, sell is the operative word there, is so misguided. The simplicity that we need is just a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything, in balance, in moderation, but you don't hear about that because it's not sexy. You also probably don't hear about that from people because it doesn't get dramatic results. I think that also just like, I don't know, looking that way also isn't achievable for a lot of people. Like the work that it takes for certain people due to literally just genetics and then financial constraints, time restraints, lifestyle constraints, like it's not achievable for everybody. And I think that's okay. Like, I don't think that we should be continuing to use our physical appearance as the only measure of internal health. I also don't think it should be the number one. Anyway, I don't really know where this video is going. I guess we're ending it because now I have to film 2 other videos. I think the main point here is that I just want you to feel confident in spotting bullshit. Everyone's trying to sell you something. Everyone has their own agenda, which is like, that's human nature, right? Like it is what it is. It's fine. Everyone's like looking out for themselves first. But I really want you to understand how to also look out for yourself first and like spot this one-sided agenda. Anyway, let me know what you guys think below, and I'm gonna stop babbling and continue with my day, and I will see you all in the next one.